Welcome, everybody. My name is John Sowash, and over the next 60-ish minutes, it's my delight to introduce you to the Google certification programs. I can honestly say that the Google Educator certifications have changed my life in a very profound way, and I would love to put you on a path to have a similar experience. This is me quite a while ago. This is me in 2009. I was much younger. I had many fewer children than I do today. I wish I could remember exactly how I found out about at the time it was called the Google Teacher Academy. I don't remember how I heard about it, but I did, and I applied. Now, keep in mind, this is 2009. Google was very different in 2009 than it is in 2025. There was no Google Docs. There were no Chromebooks. I mean, the big thing back then was Gmail and Blogger. Those were the big Google tools at the time. I think this was right around the time that Google Wave came out. I don't know if you remember Google Wave. It was a blip. It was basically the precursor to Google Docs. It kind of freaked everybody out, and it lived a very short life, but it was cool. Anyways, I applied to the Google Teacher Academy. I was accepted, and my wife and I drove from Michigan to Boulder, Colorado, to attend this one-day event. Drove through the night with our, 2-year-old, I think. She's now 16. And this experience changed my life. It put me on a very different path. It opened my eyes to what was possible with technology, opened my eyes to a wonderful community of educators some of which I am still friends with today, and put me on a trajectory to work alongside with Google. I continued teaching for many more years. I taught high school science for 6 years. I was a high school principal for a couple years, and then ultimately had the opportunity to become a full-time technology trainer and consultant, which is what I do now. None of that would have been possible without the Google certification program. Now, there are so many certifications. You can get certified in nearly anything, and I've seen people with every single one of these in their email signature. Seems a little overkill, but you do you. Not all of these EdTech certifications are created equal. Some of them I have taken. I mean, it is like a 3-minute process and woohoo, you're certified. That is not the Google certification program. It is much more rigorous, much more challenging than many, not all, but many of these other EdTech programs. All I'm trying to say here is it is a valuable certification, but it also requires a tremendous amount of work. You're not just going to breeze through this and get certified in a weekend. That's not typically how it works. It's challenging. It will push you. It will help you develop as an educator, as a leader, and it can be great. I mean, look, you get into it get out of it what you put into it. Getting certified will not change your life in and of itself. It's the effort, the focus behind it that will have the greatest impact. Technology is just one piece. It is the individual, the teacher, that really is going to make the difference. So again, the certification does not make you a good teacher. The certification documents that you're already a good teacher. It documents what you're doing. It gives you that tangible proof that, oh, I know I knew how to do this, and now I've got a certificate that proves it. And sometimes that's what you need. As you all know, education is a very certificate, degree, credential-driven industry. We probably all have master's degrees and advanced training. The more you have, the more marketable you can become. We are going to be talking about these 7 certifications. And this roughly goes from kind of introductory down to more advanced as we move from top to bottom. So you've got your Google level 1 and level 2, which are going to be for your classroom teachers. Then you've got your trainer, coach, and innovator certifications, which are also for teachers, but more of the advanced, high achieving leadership positions. And then you've got your administrator certifications down at the bottom. We'll talk briefly about those, ChromeOS and Google Admin certifications. These are the 7 education-oriented certifications that Google is offering. We're going to look at each one. I'm going to give you some tips, suggestions, kind of give you an overview of what's required for each one. And I'll provide you with a bunch of links and resources to help you along your journey, should you wish to tackle that certification. The Google Certified Educator Program is ideal for everybody. Everybody is capable of becoming a level 1 certified educator. Any teacher who uses Google in the classroom, teacher, administrator, IT admin, if you use Google products on a daily basis, the level 1 test is absolutely something you should consider. It is going to document your ability to use everything you would expect. You've got your, core communication tools. You've got the entire Google Drive suite of tools. You've got some instructional tools like YouTube, Chrome, and Google Classroom. These are the tools. If you're a Google Workshop district, you're using these every single day. Nothing surprising here. Now, what does it take to become a level 1 educator? It is a multiple choice test, 35 questions. I say multiple choice loosely. It's really more like matching, multiple choice, select all that apply. I mean, there's some drag and drop. There's several styles. You need 80% to pass. You've got plenty of time. Time really is not a factor. 3 hours to complete that exam. And there's an exam fee of $10, which is very reasonable. That is an open book, open note test. You can reference anything you want. You can look things up. You can open up Gmail, say, is that button there or not? There's no restrictions on what you do. The only thing you can't do is sit there with a friend and figure it out together. It has to be one person answering the questions. You can't pay me to come and do it for you. You got to do it yourself. I have taken this exam a lot of times. I take it at least once, sometimes twice a year. I do a lot of certification workshops and trainings, and so it's my responsibility to make sure that my workshops are aligned with the test. So at least once a year, I will take the test. Now, it would be inappropriate for me to tell you exactly what's on it, but what I do is I just have a list of all the Google services, and as I'm taking the test, I just use tally marks to say, oh, that was a question on Gmail. That was a question on Google Drive. That was a question on Google Docs. And at the end of the test, I just count them up. Now, again, this is a 35 question test, but you'll notice obviously there's way more than 35 here. The reason being, I'll come back to the screen, the questions are going to look like this. So this is a type of question you might be asked. Okay, so teachers can use Google Classroom to manage and organize their resources. Which of the following can Classroom help accomplish? So we have a list here, and you have to drag the checkbox onto the ones that are true. This one, true, 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 nope, and nope. So 4 of those, or 3 of those 5 are correct. So there, right there, that's 3 things you need to know about Google Classroom. Here's another example. This is a drag and drop. So we have to rearrange these to match the statements. Again, Google Classroom. Teachers can use Classroom to share resources and communicate with students. So which of these would match? So an announcement is a reminder for the whole class. Private comment is feedback to an individual student. Assignment, activity with the due date, material posts, helpful resource. So we'd line those up. So I would count that as 4 things you would need to know about Google Classroom. So let's go back to this screen here. "15 questions related to Google Classroom, YouTube, digital skills, and Chrome." They do have some pedagogy questions in there. If you were going to do the flipped classroom, which tool would you most likely use? If you wanted to individualize learning, what tool might you use? Things like that. 13-ish questions on the communication tools, Gmail, Google Meet, Search, Calendar, and then 32 questions on the Google Drive family. So if you want to know, okay, John, I have a limited amount of time to study. Where should I focus my attention and efforts? No question, Google Drive. I mean, over half of the questions are related to docs, slide sheets, forms, sharing, collaboration, things like that. So Drive, definitely the bulk of it. Let's talk about the level 2 certification. The good news is that the level 2 exam is exactly like level 1. Same number of questions, same time limit, still open book and open note. Slightly more expensive. It is $25 for the level 2 test. The big difference with level 2 are the tools that are covered. So in the level 2, you're going to get everything on level 1 plus some bonus ones. Now, as you look at this screen, you may or may not recognize some of those icons. Now, you got some classic ones, obviously, like Google Maps. That's easy. You might recognize Google Earth, Chrome Web Store. But what about this one? That is Google Trends. That is a search variation. Google Arts and Culture, Google Chat, add-ons. There are some tools that you may not be familiar with for the level 2. Level 2 definitely goes deeper. It's much more challenging than level 1. So the way I like to think of, should I take level 1? Should I take level 2? Everybody needs to use technology to some extent, but not everybody loves technology. Some people just do what they have to do to move on with their day. Some people, perhaps you, love technology. If you really like technology, if you enjoy using it, if you enjoy tinkering and messing around in the settings, and you're always the first one to sign up for the beta program and things like that, then you are probably a good candidate for the level 2 test. If you're like, John, I just want to know how to teach more effectively with Google Docs. I don't need a bunch of certifications. I don't want people asking me their Google questions. Level 2 is probably not for you. Getting a level 2 certification is kind of like buying a pickup truck. If you own a truck, people are going to ask you to help them move. If you have a level 2 certification, people are going to ask you all of their super weird Google technology questions. If you're not into that, then the level 1 is probably all you really need. Here's a breakdown of the level 2 test. Again, I take this one multiple times a year. Very similar. You're going to see a ton of questions on Google Drive, doc, slide sheets. It's going to get more into things like templates, add-ons, a lot of advanced settings, more nuanced sharing questions. What's the best way to share this document? Which of these are the most appropriate ways to give someone else access? Things like that. They kind of eliminate or just don't do as much with Gmail, Calendar. Those are more basic, and those are going to be focused on more in the level 1 test. When you pass your level 1 and or level 2 test, you get this cool certificate. It's pretty cool. Google's upgraded this. It actually goes to a certificate, I don't really know, warehouse, repository called credential.net. So if you go to credential.net, search for my name, you'll find my profile and all the certificates that are attached to me. So it's a lot better than just, there's an image in your email signature. This is actually verified using blockchain technology. So you can give someone this link and it actually shows that this is a true valid certificate, not something you printed out on the photocopier in the workroom. If you are interested in taking the level 1 and or level 2 test, this is the resource that I would recommend. This is my certification planning guide. I will email this out to you. I took the test. I wrote down all the skills that I thought would be valuable to pass that test and put together this list. If you can print this list out and if you can check off the boxes in the level 1 and the level 2 column, then you are ready to take that exam. If you can't check all the boxes out, now you know what you need to study, what you need to look up and do some research on. You do not have to take a course. You can take the exam at any point. There's no requirements, deadlines to be aware of. It's available 24/7 all year long. However, studying for the certification tests by yourself is not very fun. So if you'd like to join a group of people to do it, that's one thing that I offer. I have 2 cohorts that will take place over the summer, June 4th through 25th. Those take place in the evenings, actually right now. So it's 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And then in July 8th through 28th, I'll have one in the mornings, I think from 10 to 11:30. These sessions are live, actually, just like this webinar here. It's Google Meet. We hang out for 90 minutes or less, take questions, do a bunch of fun activities together, helping you prepare for your session. So we don't meet every day. We meet, I believe it's Monday and Wednesday. Mondays and Wednesdays, morning or evening, depending on which cohort you choose. If you can't make it over the summer, I do these 3 times a year, June, July, and January. So if you can't do it over the summer, January would be my next cohort, January 6th through 17th, kind of a whole New Year's resolution thing, if you're up for that. I really enjoy teaching this course. Honestly, I have lost track of how many times I have taught this class. I added it up once. I think I'm well over 3,000 people have gone through it. I've been doing it since 2016. I was the first person to do this. I've adjusted my course every single time Google has updated the exams, and it's been a lot of work. But I'm very proud of the course. It is very effective. I give my 100% guarantee. If you take my course, you will pass the test. I don't let you not pass. Those are what I would call the base certifications. We're going to be moving into some more advanced certifications. You cannot do anything that follows without your level 1 and level 2 certifications. So you got to start there and then work your way up. Next up is the Google Certified Coaching Program. Now, actually, this is the only certification I actually do not have. This is a relatively new one. This is for individuals who serve as instructional coaches. So if you are working one-on-one with teachers to help them develop their technology training, technology usage, and helping them, further refine how they're using tech in the classroom, this would be a great program. This one is pretty intense. Again, you have to have your level 1 and 2 certifications. And then you have to complete this coaching curriculum. And it's a pretty involved process. So it's a research-based curriculum on the most effective way to motivate and help adults change, grow, and develop. As you're completing that curriculum, you're going to put together this coaching portfolio. These are the people I've worked with. These are the things we worked on. This is how we improved. These are the results that I saw. So you complete all of that and put that into your application. This will take roughly a full school year because you have to be actively coaching through the process to build that portfolio as you're completing the curriculum. If you're interested in this, definitely complete your L1, L2 certs over the summer so that as the fall starts, the school year begins. If you're here in the United States, you can start on that coaching content. There's no deadlines for that program. There's no cost. You can apply at any time, and you'll be a certified coach. A slightly different option is the Google Certified Trainer program. And this is one that I do have. This one is a little different than coach. Rather than working one-on-one with individuals, you're working with groups, schools to kind of evangelize and help people more effectively use Google tools and products. You are officially authorized by Google to provide professional development on their behalf. So Google made this decision a very long time ago. It was an interesting choice. If your school goes out and buys Chromebooks or signs up for Google Workspace, and you call Google and say, hey, we're using your stuff. Can we hire a trainer? Google does not have training employees. There are no Googlers who go out and train in schools. Instead, Google deputizes the certified trainer community to go and do that. So you call Google, say, hey, we just bought 10,000 Chromebooks. We need someone to come and teach us how to use them. They will say, oh, you're in Michigan. Let me look. Oh, John is in your area. Call John. And then I can work with them and provide that service. So you can do that for profit. So you can make money by providing professional development services, or you can just do it for your school. It's up to you. There's no requirements in terms of how much or how little that you do. But it's a good program. As a certified trainer, you get some really great perks. You get access to the Champions Hub, which is a community of all the certified trainers. There's several thousand at this point, and it's a great place to ask your most frustrating and weird Google questions, to get tech support, share resources, get teaching ideas. It's a really great community. You also occasionally have the opportunity to attend special Google events. And I've had the privilege of doing this several times. This was last year in Sunnyvale, California, where the Googleplex is. This is Ann Arbor, Chicago. This summer, they're hosting one in New York. So I'll be making a trip out to New York City for the offices. So usually once a year-ish, you'll have an opportunity to do that. They've got a big event planned at ISTE. So if you're a certified trainer and you attend ISTE, you get this special invite-only party that happens during the conference. It's a lot of fun. It's a great community. You get direct access to some Google employees, which is very helpful. When, again, you have challenging issues or problems that you need assistance in resolving, you've got a direct connection into Google directly. In order to become a certified trainer, there are 5 requirements. Not surprisingly, number 1, you have to be a level 1, level 2 certified. So again, get those base certifications. Then you're going to complete the trainer skills assessment. It's a very short test, mostly about Google, like privacy practices. You are representing Google, so you have to know a little bit about the company and their policies. It's a very basic test. I think it's $10 bucks, $25. It's like 25 questions. It's real easy. 3, 4, and 5 are the challenging part. The application questions are basic, kind of biographical stuff. The case study is a little bit more work. So for the case study, you have to identify a opportunity that you had to go in and provide training for somebody, document what the need was, show how you met that need, collect data that shows that you helped them, achieve whatever their goals were, and then kind of summarize it, provide resources, documentation. It's kind of like a portfolio. So that's a little bit of work. And then you need to create I think it's a 2-minute video showing how to do something in Google, how to use auto reply in Gmail, how to translate a document, use Google slide templates, something like that. You submit those 5 things, and as long as you meet the requirements, follow the directions, you are a certified trainer. There is no quota. There's no deadlines. You can apply at any time. There's no cost to applying. It's wonderful. Not everybody gets in. A lot of people get rejected, mostly because they don't follow the instructions. So as long as you follow the instructions, you should be fine. I have also put together a application guide. There's an online application that you actually fill out, but I took those questions and put them into a Google document so that you can kind of draft your responses and then just copy and paste them into the online application. This is available for free. And I have some little hints and tips that you can look at when you're going through this. Again, I will email this. I'll email all of this to you guys at the conclusion of the webinar. Once a year, I facilitate a Google certified trainer cohort. Again, you can do this on your own. You can start at any time. There is a lot involved. And so if you'd like someone to kind of guide you through the process, if you'd like to work together with another group of individuals, I do that one time a year. This year, that will be October 9th through November 6th. We meet once a week. There's a lot of work involved, so we meet, I think, on Mondays, and then you have the whole week to kind of work on a section of your application. Then we meet the next week, we review it together, we do some peer editing, and we go to the next section. So weekly meetings, October through November. It's $200 a person. I do not have registration up for this, but if you go to that URL, you can join the wait list. And as soon as registration opens, you'll be first in line. It's a small group. We usually have 15 to 20 people. Certified Trainer program is great, but it's a lot of work. So it's not right for everybody. But if you work on a regular basis with other teachers, if you like speaking at conferences, if you like sharing your Google knowledge with others, definitely check it out. Welcome to those of you who are joining us. Diane, glad you made it. Chris, welcome in. Sonia and Tammy, good to have you as well. We've got a couple more certifications to check out. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat, and I am more than happy to answer those for you. Bottom right corner of your screen, you should see the chat. And yeah, let me know if anything's on your mind. So we looked at certified coach, certified trainer, and then the third one that's kind of in this next category is certified innovator. This is the program that I attended back in 2009. It used to be called the Google Teacher Academy. It's been renamed and kind of reprogrammed. It's now called the Certified Innovator program, Innovator Academy. This one is very prestigious. This is the equivalent of winning Teacher of the Year. Google Certified Innovators are classroom and educational leaders who are trying to use technology to solve complex problems. Those can be local problems, global problems. They're trying to have a big impact on the world. The Certified Innovator program happens usually in the summer, late summer, early fall. They host several of them, usually around the world. So they host them in the United States, usually North America, Europe, Asia. Usually we'll do one like in Australia, sometimes South America. So there's probably one in your general area. And it's a small group. They take roughly 50 people. So this is an older photo, but this is one of the Innovator Academies at the Googleplex. It is a wonderful opportunity, but it's very competitive. In order to apply to the Innovator program, I don't really know. You only have to have level 2. They don't make you do level 1, just level 2. And then you need to identify a problem that you are going to use technology to solve. This is a very broad thing. It can be a local problem, something in your school. You're like, I want to get more girls into coding. I want to, help senior citizens use technology more effectively. Come up with everything you want, and that's going to be your vision presentation and then video. So this is what I would like to do. If you get into the Innovator Academy, you spend 3 days on site at a Google office. Again, that can be New York, Chicago, here in the US, Washington, D.C., Texas, certainly California, out the Googleplex. It's one of those offices typically. They have offices in London, Brazil, Korea, all over the place. 3 days on site. And then you spend the next 12 months working on that project. You meet a bunch of cool people at the Innovator Academy. You help someone else helps you. You kind of combine forces and skills to figure out how you can assist one another and work on that project. This is a lifetime membership. You get in and yeah, it's great. I got grandfathered in back in the day. A couple years ago, they started handing out these fancy medals, which is cool. I did not go to the Olympics. It looks like a gold medal. So I don't know if they'll keep handing those out or not, but definitely a cool thing to hang up on the wall. Like I said, this is a highly competitive certification. Everybody should apply, but you have to realize only 50 people are going to get in. I checked this a couple weeks ago. They have not announced the 2025 dates, but they should very soon. Just for reference, I put the 2024 dates in here. So Brussels, Chicago, Sao Paulo, Seoul, Amsterdam, and then they do a virtual one. Those are the dates for 2024. Obviously, June is coming quick, so probably not. It's probably going to be pushed forward a little bit. Usually there's 2-ish months, probably 6 to 8 weeks in between when they announce the academy and when applications are due. A couple of questions. Badri, thanks for posting these. First question about who pays for travel expenses, things like that. For all of these, you have to pay your way to get there, and you would have to pay for your hotel while you stay, but Google takes very good care of you while you're there. They handle all of the meals, they wine and dine you, lots of cool swag. They take very good care of you. It's very nice once you arrive. In terms of like conferences that you speak at and such, most of the time I pay for my own. There's been a few times if Google has a special request, they might cover my registration. Honestly, most of the times if you speak at a conference, you get in for free. So it's really just the travel to get there. But you should assume that they're not going to cover your expenses. Badri also asked, what is the benefit for a trainer when you do training and create materials? So currently, I mean, my sole source of income is working with school districts in a variety of capacities, whether it's teacher training, admin, consulting, things like that. So, this is for me, this is how I support my family. Now, it did not start that way. I was a full-time teacher. I was just kind of on the side, occasionally providing training, speaking at conferences, things like that. Had no aspirations to monetize that or make money. And then one day a school district called me. This was probably 2015-ish. And they're like, hey, we are just starting to use Google Docs. Can you come and teach our staff how to use it? I was like, sure. And they're like, and we'll pay you. I was like, you pay people for this? I had no idea. And so that kind of slowly started it. But it was a long process. I mean, it was 10 years when I started in 2009, when I first attended the Google Teacher Academy. I didn't start doing this full time until 2012. No, it was longer than that, like 15-ish. So don't do this for the money alone. It's certainly something that you can aspire to, but you really have to hone your skills and demonstrate your value. So that was a long answer, Badri. Hopefully that was what you're looking for. So we just looked at the Google Educator focused certifications. Let me toss this slide back up. Everyone should consider doing level 1. Even if you're a school administrator and IT director, I highly recommend level 1. It'll give you a lot of insight into what teachers are using these tools for. If you really enjoy technology and if you have any, maybe thinking about any of these down here, then I would also recommend level 2. Over the summer, you could do level 1, level 2. That opens the opportunity for you to do any of those 3 down below. Trainer, if you enjoy speaking at conferences and working with larger groups of individuals. Coach, if you enjoy working one-on-one with teachers, helping them improve their instructional practice. And then Innovator, if you kind of want to be an instructional leader, kind of go-to ed tech expert. That's a great program. The final category we're going to look at are these certifications that are more technical for IT administrators, and anybody in charge of the Google Admin Console. Diane, nope, you do not have to be a teacher. No, anybody can take these. The level 1 and level 2 certifications, definitely, they're going to have a ton of questions about how would you use such and such in the classroom. If you don't have that classroom experience, some of those questions might be a little foreign to you. The certified trainer program is open to anyone. However, you do have to document your work in K-12 education. So if you have like zero connection with schools, then the certified trainer is probably not going to be you're not going to be able to get through it, and it's not going to be that useful because it's only impressive if you're a school looking to hire someone. There are 2 certifications for IT administrators. So these are more technical. If you are in charge of managing the Google Workspace admin console or Chromebooks, then these would be a good thing to look into. I am an accidental Google administrator. I'm a teacher. Back when I was in the classroom, I heard about this thing called Google Docs, and I went to my IT department and said, hey, this looks really cool. Any chance that we could try this out? And my IT department said, sure, but we don't have time to deal with it, so you're in charge. 15 years later, I am still in charge. So I don't have a lot of formal technical training. I don't have a degree in IT management or, any technical fields. I just kind of figured it out on the fly. So if I can do it, so can you. First off, we have the ChromeOS certification. So if you are in charge of managing Chromebooks, this is a great option. You will need to know about how to enroll devices, security settings, device and user policies. Those are some of the things on the exam. Google recommends that you have a minimum of 6 months using the Google Admin Console to manage Chromebooks. That's not a requirement. That's just a recommendation. These exams are definitely more expensive, $125, and they are definitely more serious. So this is closed book. I have taken this one, and it was pretty intense. They do like eye tracking with your webcam. So if you look off camera or makes it look like you're looking down at a phone or notes, it'll flash for like, please keep your eyes on the exam. So it's a serious deal. You gotta know your stuff. You can't look anything up. 2 hours to complete, and passing score is 80%. Like I did for level 1 and level 2, I do have a study guide for this. So if you're interested in becoming a ChromeOS administrator, check that study guide out. That will show you what you need to know, and then you can begin studying accordingly. Google also offers a practice exam and some other resources you can check out. I do offer a program for this. It's the Chromebook Academy. I'm actually in the middle of it right now, so I guess you could join late if you want, but our next session is actually tomorrow. It's a 5-session webinar like this where we go through all the aspects of managing Chromebooks. So I'll send out information on that. I'll host that one again in the fall, probably October-ish. So if you manage Chromebooks, you can check that out. The final exam I want to talk about today is the Google Workspace certification. This one has come and gone multiple times. I took an old version of this many years ago, and this allows you to become a Google Workspace certified administrator. Really rolls off the tongue. Similar to the Chromebook exam, but this one is going to focus more on user policies and management rather than device policies and management. Again, Google recommends 6 months of experience, very similar format for the exam details. When you complete that one, you'll become a Associate Google Workspace Administrator. That's the official name for it. Google has a study guide for this one, which again, I'll send out in the follow-up email for this session. And you can check it out and see what you need to know. Those are the 7 Google certifications that are available. As you might be thinking, those are not easy. That's work. It takes effort to study, prepare, and successfully pass those. I have a master's degree. I spent a lot of money on that master's degree, and I can confidently say that the $10 level 1 certification has returned many times more value than my master's of education degree. You know, this whole program altogether has been a amazing experience, which I would, again, highly recommend. You can do all of this on your own. You don't have to take a course. You don't have to, pay for anything that I offer. However, if you want a friend to work alongside with, that's why I put those courses together. I will send out the links to that. And if you're interested in signing up for any of my cohorts over the summer, again, June or July, would love to have you. Same thing with the educator exams. We'll be offering those again in the fall if you're interested. For those of you who are joining me here live today, I'm actually going to drop a link in the chat. Since you've spent your evening with me, this link here will give you $50 off the July cohort. And then, sorry, that was the June one. That's the June one. And then let me give you the link for the July one as well. July, again, is in the mornings. So save you a little bit of money. And we're celebrating birthdays anyways. So happy birthday. This is July. So this is only for level 1, level 2. If you click those links, it'll give you $50 off the discount. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to stick around. Happy to answer any questions that you have about the program. Feel free to chime in, drop it in the chat, unmute, and chat with me if you'd like. I will be sending out a follow-up email tomorrow morning with the webinar recording and then links to everything that I put in this, the slide deck, all the study guides, the registration links if you're interested. You let me know, and we'll get it over there. Thanks a lot. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a great evening. Happy Memorial Day. Take care.
I have a question.
Yes, Mike.
I took the level 1 probably, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 years ago or so. How much different is it now? Because I know they have.
Was it all multiple choice when you took it?
Did they have I don't think so. They had a few scenarios.
They eliminated the scenarios. Those so it's all multiple choice today. So honestly, it's probably slightly easier today than it was when you took it. I'm recording this, so I have to be very cautious. That will be changing fairly soon. Probably in the next few months. So yes, either do it now or wait. I'm sworn to secrecy, so that's all I'm allowed to say.
Okay, thank you. I just the reason I asked that question, I knew they came out with a lot more things you can do on Google. So like I said, I didn't know how much harder it would be.
Yeah, and look, the certifications only last for 3 years because Google recognized, hey, just because you get certified today, 5 years from now, that's a lifetime of Google. So, I mean, things like Jamboard, may it rest in peace, not a thing anymore. So that one has been removed from the exam. The one thing that I do not know, I'm watching carefully, they have not yet added Gemini into the certification tests. I would expect at some point they will. And so that's why I take the exams fairly regularly to figure out what they've changed. Right now, it's pretty straightforward, Gmail, Drive, Docs, that stuff. But yeah, I think they'll probably make an update here because there's a lot of new AI things that are not currently represented on the exam.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mike, thanks for joining me. Looks like you might be
No
at the
problem.
sports field. I spent a lot of time doing that too. Waiting for baseball, football, all the rest.
Yeah, I was waiting on my son, and when he came home, or when he came in, I had to go. So
Fair enough.
that's why I went off camera.
No worries. Diane, so glad you're able to hang out with me. Tell me a little more. The Google Workspace certification. Are you talking about the admin ones? I mean, I know you just took the admin boot camp with me. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I was thinking more because I work mainly with business people.
Yep.
So yeah, I was thinking more on the lines of working with people on that aspect as opposed to in schools or with teachers.
Yeah, so I'll put this in the chat, Diane. This site here, and you may have been here previously. Google Cloud is the umbrella that includes Google Workspace, and they have a bunch of certifications. I don't know if this is what you're looking for or not. Some of these are super detailed, like cloud network engineer, machine, like that's too much for me. I'm out. This is the one we talked about. That's more Google admin related. I don't know if they really have kind of a level 1, level 2 type certification for business professionals. Maybe this one. They did have one in the past, but they kind of backed away from those more user-focused certifications. So I don't know if they have exactly what you're looking for. Have you done any research on it? Do you know?
Yeah, I've been on that side. I've been like Googling everything to see, okay, which would be the best. And then like, okay, how did I get to that other site? Then I need to go back to find this, like finding where the certifications are is a bit challenging sometimes.
And they do have some just like self-paced courses, but some of those they don't have like a real robust certification at the end of it. It's just like, oh, you completed a thing. Like they have a brand new one on AI. I forget what it's called. I just put it in my newsletter this month that I'm planning on taking over the summer, but there's no exam. There's no payment for it. It's just when you go through this, you kind of self-certify.
Okay.
So it's definitely less than, what we've been looking here.
All right. Yeah, because I've been helping like small business people with their Google Workspace admin panel and with the DMARC records and all the things, their emails and all that. And I'm like, well, getting more comfortable with it and learning more about it is kind of where I'm looking at.
Yeah. I would say that, I mean, to elevate your practice and your credentials, I think the Google Workspace admin would be good, really good for you, just to show your potential clients, I have the skills. It's more just going to be impressive that you have it. They probably won't necessarily understand what it means, but you're like, I am a Google certified Workspace admin.
Well, I have to stuff is funny because like I'll go in and do stuff for them, but then if you ask me to tell you what I did, I'm like, I have no idea. I just poke buttons.
Well, I mean, Diane, just between me and you, that's what I do. Just
click. It's like, oh, let's see what this does.
Yep. Knowing which button to click. That's the that's the thing. So, and do you do much with? You probably don't do a ton with Chromebooks.
Not a lot, except for my children because they all have Chromebooks from school. So, and I have a couple Chromebooks laying around from when they were home with COVID.
Yeah.
My dad bought them Chromebooks for their school for at home. So I plug, I'm familiar with them.
Your client, you don't typically have clients that have those.
No.
Yeah. So I don't think this one would be very useful. If it were me, I would go for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, unless I were to get a job with the school district, but I doubt if, at this point, I'd rather
it's a
freelance.
Experience. Sure. Good.
Hi, John. I have a question, if
Yes,
I may
sir.
ask. So this is about I just opened your summer, certification academy that you have. I'm completely new, and I'm curious, with someone who has no background in Google certifications, how far along do you train in the academy? I see that your meetings are, 5, 6, 7, or 8 days, 1.5 hour each day. How far along do you prepare if we sign up for this academy to be able to get the L1 and L2 certification? Is it like, well, do the academy and you'll be pretty much ready to go, or is it, it covers 20%, 30% of the work?
Yeah.
So can you say a little bit about that?
Yep, good question. My goal is to fully prepare you during those 7 sessions. I would feel terrible. You spent 7 sessions, which is a total of close to 15 hours with me. You paid $200, and then I was like, oh, and Badri, you have to go out and spend another 20 hours studying. So my goal is the work we do in those 90-minute sessions will prepare you for the L1, L2 tests. Everybody will have areas where they feel very strong and confident, and other areas where they feel much less so. So you may need to go and do some additional study for some areas that you're not as comfortable with. That's going to vary from person to person. But generally speaking, you sign up, we'll go through everything you need to know.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, everybody. Tammy, Mike, Lisa, great to have you. Jose, welcome in.
One more question, John. So how long will your promo be active, this promo that you gave us?
Yeah, it doesn't expire as long as you save
Okay.
the link. Just copy the
Okay.
link so you have it, and it'll work whenever you need
Okay.
it.
And so also a follow-up. So if I share this promo with one of my friends, would that still be active, or is it only for people who are here?
It's only for people who attended the webinar. So
Okay.
it'll only work one time. So
Oh,
you
okay.
can use it, but yeah, it won't work for everybody.
Sure. Thank you so much. This is very helpful.
Good. Great to have you. I hope to see you at one of the academies.
Sure.
Thanks for joining me this evening. Like I said, I will send out the recording and all the resources that I mentioned in here. Hopefully they'll be helpful in helping you on your certification journey. Have a great night. Hope to see you again soon.
Oh, well, one more question, John. This is about tomorrow's event. Can you maybe for 30 seconds tell a little bit about the tomorrow's event that you have?